Hello everybody, this is TL Romhacks, and this will be the second and final tutorial setup video for how to play my Donkey Kong 64 ROM hack called Tag Anywhere Plus. The first video in the series was how to get your game and patch it simply. In this video, we're going to go over what I am calling save registration. You can totally use save states. It's a pretty common feature in most emulators. That will make sure your save data is perfectly fine, but sometimes I find it that I don't want to use save states. I might forget to apply a save state. So what we're going to do in this step is basically a simple copy and paste of some information. We're going to put it in a specific file that our emulator will use. And the long and short of it is that copying that piece of text from one place to another allows your emulator to fully recognize Tag Anywhere Plus as its own kind of ROM hack Nintendo 64 game, and makes it so that even if we didn't use a save state, if we were to save the game, quit, come back later, when we come back, that save data will still be there. So again, very important step that we go through this, otherwise you might risk not having any of your save data stay for the next time you come back. So as was in the first video, we unzipped and we had this folder. We talked a little bit about how there are some other text files in here. The text file that's going to be important in this folder is our save registration text. So we'll open that up, and every time I do a release, I will be sure to explicitly put hey, this registration information is for a given version. And what we're kind of looking at here is basically, again, just different pieces of information that your emulator with RetroArch and Mupen needs to recognize a game as pretty much a game. So the easiest thing here, we'll just copy these 4 lines. Don't copy anything else. We don't need this 4 version or anything, just these few lines here. And once we have that copied, we can close this out. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to locate the specific file for Mupen that needs this information. This file will be a little bit different for other people because not everybody has the same RetroArch setup. That folder is not in the same place for, everybody. Who knows where you could have put yours versus mine. But for the sake of the tutorial, I have my RetroArch folder pinned on the side here. So this is where, again, I've put RetroArch on my computer, and then once we're in that RetroArch folder, we'll open the system. If you're not seeing something like this Mupen 64 Plus folder, it might have meant that maybe you downloaded RetroArch, but you might not have opened RetroArch and you might not have installed the Mupen core. Again, there's a lot of awesome tutorials from people online, on YouTube, on what is RetroArch, how do I get a core downloaded. So again, we're just going to assume that you've at least got that much set up. We'll go into the Mupen 64 Plus folder, and then there is a mupen64plus.ini. What this is, it's a really big file for me. I think it ought to be pretty big for you too. It's basically just like I've kind of been saying before, information about pretty much every game and different versions of games on the Nintendo 64. There is a potential in the future that if you want to play a newer version of Tag Anywhere Plus that I've released at some point in the future, you might have to actually update this information. So the reason I'm scrolling to the bottom is that for now and for the future, anytime we want to do a newer version of Tag Anywhere Plus, we'll want to be sure that our information that we're going to put here is basically the one at the bottom, just so that it's very easy to find. It does not need to be in alphabetical order or anything like that. Now, you'll notice that even though I copied the text from our download folder, this information is actually already here. That's just a quirk of me developing. But long story short, you won't have this information here. All you'll need to do is just, paste this information at the bottom of this folder, and that truly is that setup done. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit here and just stress the importance that, if this is your first time setting up, great, that'll get everything set up and ready for you to play. But keep in mind that if I do an update in the future of a bug fix, or maybe I've added more content for people to play, this information changes with every single release that we do. So just be sure that that you remember that and that you always come back here and update the information so that you're not trying to point to an outdated version, a previous version. If you don't do that, again, you run into the risk of saving your data and coming back and it's completely wiped out. In the future, as I do multiple releases, there will probably be more YouTube videos on how to do save migration as well, any additional steps we might need to do. But that is really pretty much it. Once you've got that copied from the download folder and you've put it in here, make sure you save this .ini. And then the only other thing I would encourage you to do, just to do a sanity check, would be maybe start up Tag Anywhere Plus and start a new game. You don't even need to play it for all that long. Just start a new game, save it, quit, close out your emulator, open it back up, and if your save file is still there, then you know you did the setup correctly. That is it. I hope you have a lot of fun playing Tag Anywhere Plus, and I'll see you in the next video.